Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Wednesday night to join me. I really appreciate that. I hope that you guys had a wonderful day of doing nothing just as much as I did. You feel me? You know, I love every second of it. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes I feel like I don't love it, you feel me? And then I think to myself that I got this great life where I'm able to sit here and have an opportunity, because first and foremost, it's an opportunity, and I'm grateful for it. So I just want to let you guys know that I care about all of you tremendously out there, even my haters. If you're over the age of 60 and you're very financially well off and you tune into my show, I also hope for you to be living your best life. I hope things are going good on your end. You feel me? And you know who I'm talking to, or you don't. If I'm talking to nobody and that person never watches my videos, who's the crazy one? Anyways, is what I deal with a lot in my life, right? Just the constant sort of idea that sometimes people do things that aren't very comfortable or aren't very familiar. Let's use familiar, right? Because I feel like comfort and familiarity are one and the same, but there are some slight differences, some subtle differences within those two things. And I just want to say that the world would not be the way that it is if it weren't for people saying and doing things that made you feel uncomfortable and or unfamiliar. You feel me? I mean, in fact, the fact that uncomfortableness makes us a little strange and unfamiliarity makes us a little strange, I feel like that is strange because we should be open to new experiences. We should be ready to accept change. It always strikes me that everyone has the same common core belief that everything always constantly changes, but yet we struggle to make it stop. We don't want things to change. We want things to stay the same. And my question tonight to everybody out there is NASCAR racist as a whole? Okay? And I want to dive into this because I'm a middle-aged man. You know, I grew up as a Hispanic going down to a town called Bernalillo where my family is from, and every single weekend, my dad would take me down to a little racing store, an officially licensed Indianapolis. So Indy racing is what I grew up with. And again, I'm a Hispanic person, but again, I say this because it seems like NASCAR and Indy are just kind of for white people. I mean, again, does that make you uncomfortable? Does that make you unfamiliar with the world that you live in? I mean, have you seen like a NASCAR race? Have you seen the Indy 500? I mean, have you seen golf? Isn't it kind of weird that everyone only knows of Tiger Woods? Is he still the only black player that's ever played golf? Listen, I'm not hating, okay? I'm not hating at all, right? Because I understand that kind of, that these sports are kind of racist. At least they began as such, just as most things do, right? I mean, that's the unfortunate truth if you are not rich and white. You feel me? And even rich and white people, like, argue amongst themselves. And that's scary too, but I'm just saying that it's not a bad thing to think things are as they appear to be. So what I'm saying is, when you watch a game of golf or when you watch NASCAR or Indy, it might just be on the surface that there aren't any black or brown people, or women, right? And so I'm not trying to do no type of thing other than say what other people, I guess, feel uncomfortable with in saying. And it makes them unfamiliar and it draws hate and it does all of these different things, but it is in fact the truth. And so Michael Jordan and his racing team, I gotta tell you, Hendrick Sports, there are some dynastical racing families in this country. I mean, we're talking legacy money that's, again, not to be a hater, but if truth be told, did come from a place that was inherently discriminatory. Like, I'm not making up the rules. I'm sure that none of you at home have, the kind of hate in your heart that would allow for such things to go on for such long periods of time. And I feel like that's why millennials and alphas and bright Xers and Zers, it's sort of just like, wait a second, something is amiss here. Something doesn't seem right. And I gotta tell you that there is a lot of Michael Jordan is causing a big stir in the NASCAR world, and rightfully so. If there's anybody that could ever break into that sport and completely change the surface and the way that it currently is, it'd be your boy Michael Jordan. This same dude took the game of basketball and turned it into something that is more than a game of basketball. I have a great admiration for Michael Jordan. I have grown up on, some of the ways that he is disciplined himself. This guy is discipline. If you looked up discipline, you'd find Michael Jordan right there, center front and page. Like, I am not kidding. This man is on it. There's never been a time where he hasn't been on it, and that's what makes him who he is. And he has entered and he's winning. His team in NASCAR, they are winning. And that's obviously, Hendrick Sports has called them a cartel. So what I'm saying is that from the outside, you have a notable superstar athlete, a Michael Jordan, who has entered into a world, not to mention that Michael Jordan also owns a sailboat racing team. Again, for somebody who has never spoken for or against or anything at all in the name of kind of like equality or discrimination or racism or institutional racism or things like this, the guy puts his money where his mouth is, and then he does what he's supposed to do, and that is be the absolute best. And hands down, that's a good way to get your point across. It's a good way to get noticed. It's a good way to vibe on a positive note. A sore loser is a sore loser. And if it takes a Michael Jordan racing team to stir up some, confusion and uncomfortableness and unfamiliarity within the NASCAR racing industry itself, then so be it. Like, why is it that a lot of these industries say they want everyone's money and then go out of their way to not accept everyone's money, right? I mean, again, it's just weird. It's a weird thing. And I don't think NASCAR in its current state, and I don't think the PGA, and I don't think mainstream sports in their entirety are racist. I don't think this, I just think that it might be racist, because of the lack of participation from certain minority populations and poor white people included in that, all marginalized populations. You feel me? That's all that I'm saying. And I just think that it's weird and point in fact that Michael Jordan is still, a legend. Like, I literally, he transcends athletics. Like, it's a hard thing to do. That is a hard thing to do, and it's a hard thing to do consistently, and it's a hard thing to always be the best consistently. And wouldn't you know it, even when it's not Michael Jordan himself driving the success of his name, it is in fact the people that he hires, the crew that he puts together. This guy knows how to win. Okay? That's all that I'm saying. If there's one thing that you can say about Michael Jordan is that he knows how to win. And so, more power to him. I hope that Michael Jordan brings NASCAR to families throughout the United States of America, throughout the world, right? I mean, we should be willing to share a big racetrack where people go really fast around it hundreds of times. And there's nothing like that shouldn't be just for a certain group of privileged white people or privileged financially well-off people, right? I mean, come on now. You want to see a moment where equality, is the thing in sports, and that's what's cool about sports is racism. There's no place for that in competition. There's just none. If you're better than somebody, you're better than them, and that's what I enjoy about competition, and that's what I enjoy about organized athletics. Right? Is that there are some of us who do take winning very serious as it concerns legitimate competition. And I feel like Michael Jordan is the king of competition. And good or bad, I feel like a lot more people are going to be talking about NASCAR moving on into the future. And wouldn't you know, I also feel like we might also be discussing sailboat racing teams because again, that's a thing. And just because we may or may not hear about it doesn't mean that it isn't enjoyed by millions of people around the country. And again, historically speaking, those millions of people that have enjoyed these different niche sports are, not black, brown, or poor and white. That's what I know, right? That's what I guess, just based on what I see with my eyes. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, and there's no hate on this, but maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. Maybe NASCAR is just a place where equality, trumps everything. I don't think it's that way, and I don't think it has been that way, and I think there's going to be some pushback as the world progresses into something a little bit more equal for everyone and not just so much for a certain few group of people. So you can't blame these few group of people for getting all hurt that the world is finally waking up, and allowing other people to have opportunities that they may not have had, historically speaking, right? Because again, if it weren't for Michael Jordan, there'd be no video, there'd be no commentary, there'd be no you know like pointing out the fact that the dude is a goat and the dude is a legend and he wins at everything that he does and he doesn't lose. And I find that to be the mark of a remarkable champion. And there's few of these individuals that we ever get to see, to have the privilege to see, function. And it's been a fun time for me as a 37-year-old man just to see this dude function because holy macaroni, the guy does a lot of stuff even when you don't think he's doing anything, you feel me? So I hope that you guys have a really good night. I hope that you guys like Michael Jordan as much as I do. I hope that you tune into a NASCAR race or a speedboating race or watch some golf. Switch it on up. Go to your local golf course and play 9 holes. I'm just saying, it's a good thing. It's cool. Golfing's fun. It's a fun thing. So is racing in cars. And it shouldn't be exclusive to any one group of people, not based on race or socioeconomic factors or nothing like that. You feel me? It should just be the best person. The best person sitting in that car is going to win the race. And by God, wouldn't you know, Michael Jordan is proving that hand in point. And so I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show. My name is Albert. This was Vlogs About Nothing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.